Why, hello there. Welcome to this video. My name is Leah. I'm a new progressive YouTuber, and I have recently started doing Wednesday and Saturday shows where I talk about big news, cultural trends, whatever else, so I can use my political energy for good. Now, recently, my shows have focused a lot on the Kamala Harris and Walz campaign because there's been a lot of exciting news. There's been a lot of exciting stuff happening. I mean, like before, Walz was picked, we were unsure who the VP nomination was going to be. So there was a lot of like buzz around that. And then Walz getting picked was a big deal, and so there's a lot of talk about that. And then we had the DNC, and there've just been a lot of things. There've been a lot of headlines. There have been a lot of things going on the Democrat side of things, and so I've been talking about that. I've been covering that stuff. And to be totally honest, I haven't really been talking about Trump or JD Vance or their side of the campaign and what's been going on with them lately. And that's what this video is mostly going to be focused on. I do have one little bit of news about the Harris Walz campaign, and then we're going to jump straight into talking about Trump and JD Vance and stuff. Harris will sit down with CNN for her first interview since launching presidential bid. Vice President Kamala Harris is sitting down with CNN this week for her first interview since President Joe Biden dropped his re-election bid. The Democratic presidential nominee will be joined by her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, in an interview with CNN anchor Dana Bash in Savannah, Georgia. The interview will air Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Harris's lack of access has become one of the Republicans' key line of attacks against her as she ascended to the top of the Democratic ticket after Biden's July 21st announcement. The CNN interview may be an opportunity for Harris to quell criticisms that she is unprepared for uncontrolled environments, but it may also carry risks as her team tries to build on momentum from the ticket shakeup and Democratic National Convention. During her 3+ years as vice president, she has done on-camera and print interviews with the Associated Press and many other outlets, often at a pace more frequent than Biden. The Trump campaign has kept the tally of the days she has gone by as a candidate without giving an interview. On Tuesday, the campaign reacted to the news by noting the interview was joint, saying she's not competent enough to do it on her own. Now, that's just a really dumb response, to be honest. Like, clearly she's competent enough to do an interview. She's been on the campaign trail. She's been giving really good speeches. She's been killing it. So, like, to act like she's not good, like she's gonna like get up in an interview and just like choke and just fall apart, it's just stupid. Like, that's clearly not going to happen. Walz is going to be there because he's charismatic and because people like him. Like, that's why he's going to be in the interview with her, is because it's a good ticket and people like both Walz and Harris. So yeah, that'll be the next big headline or the next big event for the Walz Harris like campaign and stuff like that, unless there's like some other event happening before then that I'm not aware of. But as far as I'm aware, the next big thing for them will be that interview. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I'm looking forward to seeing like how the two of them together are able to handle the interview questions and see what happens. I did want to say that like there's been this continuation of the momentum of the positive energy from the Harris Walz campaign, and I feel like they've done a pretty good job of maintaining that energy and momentum. Like, when the ticket swapped over, it just generated a lot of energy. It generated a lot of excitement. And I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and I do think that like it could have been a many different people at the top of the ticket and there still would have been this kind of excitement, because the excitement is more about like when we had Biden on the ticket, we're facing a situation that was extremely grim, an extremely bad situation where it looked like total defeat and there was no chance of salvation. And so we were all staring a second Trump term in the face. And then we get this change in the ticket and it generated so much relief and excitement because the potential to avoid a second Trump term became a reality again. And I think that the Harris Walz campaign has done a fantastic job continuing that energy and momentum and just keeping it going. And before we move on, talk about Trump and JD Vance and stuff like that, I did just want to say, I know I've been super coconut pilled. I know that I have been like super excited about Harris and the Walz campaign and stuff like that. I get that. But I do want to say, like, that doesn't mean that I expect her to be perfect. And that does not mean that I think that there's going to be zero opportunity to criticize her. Like, I've mentioned several times talking about the Gaza genocide, that it's important that we put pressure on her, like we put pressure on Biden, like we put pressure on other people. Like, we need to do these protests. We need them to see that we care about these issues, and we need to put party pressure on them, political pressure on these politicians. I just wanted to be clear that like I understand that Harris is a politician and that like there are going to be decisions that disappoint me and disappoint other people as well. I just am in this frame of reference where like I'm still thinking about Biden and what he was doing at the top of the ticket. And so when you put them in comparison, by contrast, it just feels like, wow, she's so much better. But like, that doesn't mean that she's the pinnacle or that she's the best. She isn't a perfect human being and she's not a perfect politician. And I just want to make that clear that I'm aware of that. I'm well aware of that. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to just like stifle all my excitement and energy, because my excitement and energy is coming from that like point of view of like, maybe we don't have a second Trump term. Maybe we don't. And that's exciting for me, because like a second Trump term to me as a transgender American is like, maybe I need to flee the country. Is like, maybe I should be updating my passport right now. But if Harris and Walz win, then of course, like, I will not have to flee the country. So, you know, that's just like something that I think is important for me to put in frame of reference for people. But okay, let's go ahead and talk about Trump and JD Vance. First of all, like, it's just been a while. So let's just like see what they're up to and just like catch up with them real fast. Like, I know JD Vance has been hot on the campaign trail. So let's see what he's up to.
For letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm Katie Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
We're going to do 2 dozen.
Okay.
Yep. And just a, random assortment of stuff here. How long have you worked here?
I've been here since the beginning of July
Okay.
of this year.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Almost 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. How long?
Good.
Everything.
Just everything. Yeah, I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense.
Whatever makes
How long has
sense.
this place been around?
Whatever you humans
About 4
consume.
years? Okay. How long have
Okay.
you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. Good. Very good.
Yeah, it's when we selected this place, I didn't know if it had been here for 20 years or 4 years, or you never know. Sometimes you drop in. Zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in.
And then a lot of people have been talking about his hair. Oh my God, busted hairline. Okay, that was really awkward. And to be totally honest with you, that is like every single thing that I see from JD Vance. It's just this really awkward, like, hi, I am a human energy, where it's like someone pretending to be a human walks into a donut shop and they're like, why, hello there. I see there are sprinkles on some of these items that you have behind your counter. And I would like to put some of those in a box, and possibly later I will allow them to enter into my mouth and I might consume them. Like, my guy just sounds like an alien who is like wearing a skin suit trying to order donuts. So, okay, JD Vance is just really awkward and it's just kind of like bumbling around being JD Vance, I guess. What's Trump up to?
Very powerful. They're very powerful countries, and we don't know what we're doing. We have leadership that has no clue how to handle them or how to handle any other situation. We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that.
How would that
We're very
happen?
close to a world war. In my opinion, we're very close to a world war. We have people that don't know how to handle it. They're not respected. All over the world, they're laughed at. And we can't have that.
A little bit of projection there, obviously. just projection, just a little bit of projection there.
Most dangerous period of time I've ever seen for our country. With that being said, we have somebody that hasn't received 1 vote for president, and she's running, and that's fine with me. But we were given Joe Biden, and now we're given somebody else. And I think, frankly, I'd rather be running against somebody else. But that was their choice. They decided to do that because Kamala's record is horrible.
Yeah, her record is so horrible that they place her at the top of the ticket for the president of the United States. Yeah, that makes total sense. But I love how he can't even get through that line about like being happy that it's Kamala Harris he's running against, because like he had those Truth Social posts where he was like fantasizing about Joe Biden busting into the DNC with an army of delegates and taking back the presidential nominee. But yeah, no, that's not going to happen. That's presidential fanfic written by a former president of the United States who is delusional. And yeah, let's just keep going a little bit.
She's a radical left person at a level that nobody's seen. She picked a radical left man that is He's got things done that he has positions that are just not, it's not even possible to believe that they exist. He's going for things that nobody's ever even heard of. Heavy into the
No one's ever even heard of it.
transgender world, heavy into
Yes, heavy. I saw so many memes about this. Heavy into the transgender world. Very heavy into transgender.
lots of different worlds having to do with safety. He doesn't want to have borders. He doesn't want to have walls. He doesn't want to have any form of safety for our country.
Walz is going to steal your walls. Walz is coming for your walls. He's actually an advocate for the Kool-Aid Man Union. And because people like having their walls intact, the Kool-Aid Man isn't able to do the thing that he lives to do, which is burst through walls. So actually, Walz is an advocate for taking away your walls because, yeah.
He doesn't mind people coming in from prisons, and neither does she, I guess, because she's not.
I guess.
She couldn't care less. She's the border czar. By the way, she was the border czar 100%. And all of a sudden, for the last few weeks, she's not the border czar anymore, like nobody ever said it. And I just hope that the media becomes more diligent, more honest, frankly, because if they're not going to be honest, it's going to be much tougher to bring our country back.
I genuinely don't know how anyone could take this guy seriously. I don't like, it's crazy to me that he has any sort of he has an effect on people, and I just can't, I don't understand how that's even possible. Okay, but that wasn't his only appearance in the past couple weeks. Let's give him some credit here. Let's give him a chance. Let's see this big sweaty boy try to do the thing. Okay, let's see him try to do the thing.
No inflation. The 30-year mortgage rate was around 2%. Gasoline had reached $1.87 a gallon. We actually had many months where it was lower than that, but we hit 187, which was a perfect place, an absolutely beautiful number. Real income surged by more than $4,200 a year when I was president. Harris and Biden blew it all up. And if Kamala wins the election, the worst is yet to come. You'll have a real problem in the future because people don't respect her in the world. People don't respect her in the economy. Economists are laughing. They can't even believe this is happening to our country. And
now, to be fair, the average American does trust this big, orange, old, sweaty man more than they trust Kamala Harris with the economy, which is actually just sad. It's kind of just sad, to be totally honest with you. Kamala Harris has had a successful career throughout her life, and Mr. Trump here has had many failed businesses. So the fact that people trust a failed businessman / failed actor with the economy it's pretty rich. It's pretty hilarious.
he wants to change a free enterprise type country into a communist type country. That's what she knows.
I guess.
She's considered far more radical than Bernie Sanders. That's all you have to know. Far more radical. And she picked somebody that's far more radical than Bernie Sanders. He approved a bill recently, tampons in boys' bathrooms. He wants tampons in boys' bathrooms. It's terrible. It's terrible.
I can't get over. I did watch the majority of this conference. And first of all, he never uses this stuff back here. This Folgers, and clearly this stuff was placed here by his aides or his campaign staffers or whatever, and they were trying to keep him on topic because this was supposed to be about the economy. This whole thing was supposed to be about the economy, and Trump just keeps veering into his stump speech and keeps trying to turn this into a campaign rally, but he has no energy. It's like his soul has left his body. The passion, the sauce is gone. It's absolutely gone. But yeah, he never touches the stuff back here. I doubt that he even asked for it to be there. They probably just put it there to try to keep him on track about the economy.
But that's the person that she picked. Surprising pick to me. I was shocked. He's also got one of the worst run states. Many people are leaving the state, sixth most.
It's the third happiest state in the country. Like, third in happiness is a pretty good place to be.
And from her state, she destroyed,
That was
as the Attorney
conference.
General,
The
she
tech
destroyed
is
California
messed
along
up.
with Gavin Newsom. And she, San Francisco, you know, was a great city 15 years ago. Now it's considered almost unlivable. You can't live there. And what they've done to that great state with the beautiful weather like this weather, they have this weather all the time. And they have the ocean, they have the sun, they have everything.
It's just all the same talking points. It's all the same stuff, but with no energy, with nothing. He has nothing left. So as we have seen and talked about previously, I'm not sure when I talked about this, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned that like JD Vance has been doing all of the campaign events for Trump. And Trump has just been kind of sitting around or golfing or whatever he does. But like during the week or two leading up to the DNC, Trump only had like one campaign rally. And in the past 2 weeks, these are the two big things that Trump has done. These two press conferences where he just rambles about his grievances for like 2 hours, where he just rambles about how upset he is about stuff. And I've heard many people say this. I've heard many people talking about it. I just think that he's lost. Like his heart's not in it. Like Joe Biden left and he saw his certain victory turn into like a probable defeat or whatever. I don't even know, because like when the Harris campaign first launched, like there was a lot of excitement and energy, but like the polling was still in his favor. Like he was still, you know, leading in the race very easily. And it has taken time for Kamala Harris to close the gap and then start leading in the race. So this has taken, you know, about a month or so for this to happen. And he's been like upset this whole time. Like, I think that he saw that this was going to do something for the Democratic Party that he couldn't see coming. And I don't know, he just didn't know how to react to it or something. It's kind of weird. Like, it feels like Trump has always been that guy where it's like he gets handed some really bad news because he's an idiot and he does stupid stuff all the time. He does illegal stuff all the time. He's like he's a criminal and stuff like that, like a career criminal. And so Trump gets like handed some issue, like he got freaking impeached and stuff like that. And he just rolled with those punches. Like he just rolled with it. But for some reason or another, like this seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Like I think he's just over it. Like I think he's just done. Like at this point, he's probably wishing he had never gotten into politics in the first place. And he's probably wishing that he had just tried to stay a failed actor. Like Home Alone will never be the same ever again. His presidential campaign and his politicking and stuff like that has absolutely ruined important key moments of that movie. And, you know, it's just sad to see. But all joking aside, it has been really cathartic to see them just crapping the bed constantly, seeing Republicans just ripping their hairs out, just trying desperately to find any angle of attack. On top of that, it's also been kind of disturbing for real, because the amount of misogyny and stuff that we have seen from the right is pretty disgusting. Here's a great example of said misogyny, and I apologize, I have to use like someone else showing the clip because I couldn't find the original clip.
What is her foreign policy? This is where the president has his most impact. You have a lot of room to maneuver there as commander-in-chief. We don't know who she is. We don't know what she believes. She's going to get paralyzed in the Situation Room while the generals have their way with her. Right now,
Jesse,
Whoa, Jesse, I don't like that.
figuratively,
Take
again,
it back.
have their way with her, control her.
So yeah, as you heard in that clip, clearly even some people on the right wing think that this misogyny and the racism and the ways that they're attacking Kamala Harris are just gross. Like, grow up. Like, that dude is like almost 50 years old. Like, I can't get over these married men acting like they have never met a real woman in their entire life. Okay, so Trump is crapping the bed and his party doesn't know how to attack Kamala Harris. But like, let's just jump back to JD Vance. Maybe he has something up his sleeve. Okay, yeah, JD Vance has absolutely nothing to contribute to the Trump campaign. He looks weak, he's weird, he has absolutely negative charisma. But okay, enough messing around, let's jump into another article. Trump says he's accepted rules for September 10th debate, which includes muted mics. So this is a part of a developing story, and to kind of give you the long and short of it, when Biden was the nominee, there were set debate days, and one of them happened, and obviously it went very poorly for Biden. This other debate, September 10th, was already scheduled to happen between Trump and Biden. And since Harris has just assumed the top of the ticket, it was kind of assumed that there would still be this debate. Now, when Biden dropped out and Harris started running the top of the ticket, Trump started sort of wavering on these debates and sort of said, like, you know, maybe he's not going to do these debates because he doesn't even know who he's going to debate, because he doesn't know who's going to be the nominee. Now, obviously, Harris is the nominee, and that has been a steadfast conclusion for many weeks now, but that hasn't stopped Trump from like wavering back and forth about the debates and whether he's going to do them. At one point, Trump challenged Kamala to a bunch of random debates that clearly Kamala wasn't going to accept. And now he's using that to say, like, oh, she's afraid of me because actually I said we should do 27 debates and she only wants to do the ones we originally agreed to. So yeah, let me read this article a little bit. Former President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced on Truth Social that he has reached an agreement to participate in a September 10th debate with Vice President Kamala Harris, noting that the rules will be the same as the last CNN debate, which seemed to work out well for everyone. The rules largely mirror the terms used by CNN for its June 27th debate, including that microphones will be muted as the other candidate speaks and no studio audience will be present. A person familiar with matters confirmed. So the rest of this literally just talks about whether the microphones are going to be muted and who wants them to be muted and who wants them to be unmuted. And to be totally real with you, I just don't care at all about whether the microphones are muted or not. I feel like, yeah, that made a difference when Trump was debating Biden, because like optically that worked out well for Trump last time. So I think that his team is trying to push for having the microphones muted. That way Trump isn't able to like interject or argue or have like these back and forths. Whereas I think the Harris campaign wants the microphones unmuted because it'll allow for some exchanges, and they're hoping that that'll create good moments that'll help people see that like Harris is able to like keep it together and, you know, go after Trump. So I just have one more article to share with you. So this story dropped kind of late in the day, actually. Like I just saw this story drop like a few hours ago. Feds file new indictment in Trump January 6 case, keeping charges intact but narrowing allegations. Special counsel Jack Smith files a new indictment in Donald Trump's alleged efforts to undo the 2020 presidential election, keeping the same criminal charges but narrowing the allegations following the Supreme Court immunity ruling. So I don't really have access to the article, so I'm not going to read too much from it, but the new indictment removes a section of the indictment that had accused Trump of trying to use law enforcement powers of the Justice Department to overturn his election loss, an area of conduct for which the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 opinion last month, said Trump was absolutely immune from prosecution. So the stripped down criminal case represents a first effort by prosecutors to comply with a Supreme Court opinion, likely to result in a significant revision of the allegations against Trump over his efforts to block peaceful transfer of power. So yeah, that's the story. Those are all the details that we know so far. I'm sure that lawyers and people like Legal Eagle and stuff are going to make videos about this, and they're going to talk about it, and they're going to have all sorts of wonderful things to say, like filled with knowledge about these kinds of legal matters. But I am not filled with knowledge about these legal matters. And to be honest, I'm glad to see that these charges are back. I'm glad to see that they are moving forward yet again with these indictments, because especially like this one was a really big one. I think that this one was probably one of the biggest indictments. And I think it's important that Trump faces accountability for the clearly wrong and criminal things that he has done. But I'm sure this will be a developing story, so I'm going to be following it and I'll share updates with you as I find them. But yeah, that's everything for today. Those are all the stories that I have for you. We're essentially looking forward to this interview. We're looking forward to the debate, and we're looking forward to the continuation of the campaign. I'm curious to see whether Trump tries to do more campaign events to try to build some energy back up, or whether he stays dejected and just like cries over in Bedminster or Mar-a-Lago or wherever he's hanging out, you know? And I would absolutely love to see more really awkward moments from JD Vance on the campaign trail. I'm sure that as time goes on, more and more like clips and little video things are going to pop up of just really awkward moments of him trying to be a human being. But like that stuff is actually just hilarious. Like it's comedy at a level that Republicans don't even understand. Like they don't even know how funny it is that this guy is just unable to act like a normal human being. And yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you got this far into the video. I really do appreciate you and your support. If you want to leave a like on the video, that would help me out a lot. If you want to leave a comment, that helps out with the algorithm as well. And if you hit the subscribe button, hit that notify bell, all that stuff, that would really help me out a bunch, just trying to grow. Heck, you know, if you have friends that are into politics and you're trying to, you know, help me out as a small creator, you know, maybe let your friends know that I exist, you know, maybe give me a little shout out here and there. I'm gonna be doing my best to try to like make these videos entertaining and try to bring you important stuff that I think I should be talking about. And yeah, and maybe over time we'll be able to build a friendly little community here. I really look forward to seeing the kind of people who show up in support of my channel. But yeah, I will be back on Saturday with another show. I don't really think I'm gonna have anything super big to talk about on Saturday, so I'm not sure. I might kind of do something. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but we'll see. We'll see what I decide to talk about. But until then, I just have one tiny little favor to ask of you, and that is for you to drink some water.